Explore fragility at Prove, Sarah Thompson's A Winter Wanderings, and Enchanted Heavy Folk from Southwire. The playlist is next.
Funding for The Playlist is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
With hip-hop, folk, and rap as a base, our music guests have an original sound all their own. Please welcome Southwire to the playlist. Well, there's more music from Southwire on the way after a look at some of the art openings in the works for Duluth.
I like to be aggressive with my materials. So maybe that sort of bold gestural mark is something of the hallmark of my work.
If not for you.
These are images of our hometown of Duluth, and I think because I've chosen certain iconic views, I think they're compelling in that regard. So I think I try to tap into some of the energy of these different monuments or icons, or just capture a sense of place And I'd like to see how people respond to my mode of expression and see if they feel that same sentiment via the drawings and the paintings that will be shown at Beaner's as well. My name is Kenneth Marinowski. I live in Esko, Minnesota, and I work primarily as an oil painter, but have recently moved towards charcoal drawings as a means of expression. Just to be sort of captivated by the movement and the lines and the interactions of color, or in the case of the drawings, value. So I just hope that the viewer can enter into the paintings and maybe see some sort of narrative or have some feeling for the atmosphere or the type of day it was. The Beaner's show will start on the 3rd, and it'll last the month of January, essentially.
Abstract ideas and concept presents some challenges for a lot of us. Now, a dozen contemporary artists reveal their take on fragility for a new show coming up at the Prove Gallery here in Duluth. One of the creative directors is here to tell us about the show. Nicholas Monson, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So you get to pick a different topic for each of your gallery shows. How does that work?
Well, we are a collective, so we trade off picking the topic, and everyone picks something that speaks to them. Sometimes it'll have something to do with the time of the year, other times it'll just be whatever we feel is important to show.
So did you pick Fragility?
Fragility is a show that I'm curating, and I thought it was an appropriate topic for this time of the year when so many of us can get kind of agitated with the weather and just, the lack of daylight. Also, the nature itself is so fragile this time of year, everything icy, so.
It was fun to see what fragility looks like. You sent me some images, and I got to see kind of a little preview of what the artwork is coming in. You have some really neat pieces. How many people said, yeah, I'll take that challenge. I'll show you what I think fragility looks like.
I had a little over 30 people apply for this show, so it was a real tough decision picking which ones to include and which ones not to. I had to turn down some really great art, so I hope that those artists will apply to our future shows.
So what do you like about what made it in?
Well, some of the things were challenging. This piece you're showing here right now is actually made out of snow. It's not even going to last the whole duration of the opening, so that's great. That's a piece by, I just did this whole thing, so it's escaped me. Hannah Lagoon. And all the different pieces, they have so much to say and from so many different perspectives, so I wanted to showcase a wide variety of perspectives on fragility.
I saw those little snow pieces and I thought, no, okay, that's a way different look at the snowmen that we're familiar with. That's a really fun medium to use. Do you have any restrictions on what you can use and what you can't, or what are the rules?
I don't want something that's going to damage my gallery in any way. So we do have some weight restrictions. We do have restrictions as to wet paint or damaging explosives or, sharp glass, things like that. But other than that, it's pretty wide open.
So Prove has been around for a year.
A little over now.
You're one of the founding members. How has your perspective changed over that time?
Well, I've gotten more comfortable with talking to a lot of people. I've been on this show twice now, which is great. And I've gotten a lot more comfortable talking to people at the openings. I was initially quite shy about that.
What does it tell you about the level and the interest in the arts, by the number of submissions and by who shows up at your openings?
I'm really blown away that we've been able to continue to have these big openings, that everyone seems to be so interested in showing work with us and that the public still is receptive to it. It shows me that Duluth has been hungry for this for a long time, and I hope that it'll continue to be a valuable resource for the community.
Now, as far as a mission, you have a little bit of a different take than a lot of galleries. Kind of, what is the focus, or what are your standards, or what are you striving for?
Well, we do a lot of things. We like to show people that are established as well as up-and-coming artists. We really think it's important to give those opportunities to artists that may not otherwise be exposed to the public, and then at the same time take artists that may be above what most people are comfortable with going and seeing, that maybe you only see them in the expensive galleries. Now you get to see them in a much more accessible environment.
It's been really exciting to go to some of those shows and just see the energy that the people who come to attend the openings bring with them, and the curiosity.
Yeah, it's been just exceptional. We've been nothing but pleased with it.
Okay, next shows after Fragility. Do you know what's coming up? Is it Bitters?
Bitters is coming up in February, and then in March is a show called Text, so keep your eyes open for both of those.
And you can interpret it that however you want.
Yeah, there'll be calls. You can find them online on our Facebook page as well as on our website.
That's really fun. So you put it out there and say, okay, what do you have? Or is the work created specially for that opening?
It depends. When we can put out a call for art far enough in advance, sometimes people will get stuff made special for it, but sometimes when the calls come pretty close, which they do and we have a show every single month, sometimes it's just stuff that people already had that just fits well.
And do you have any time for your own art anymore, Nick?
Sometimes. Sometimes.
All right. Well, I wish you luck on the opening of this new show, and thank you for coming over and spending time with us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I want to remind you that Fragility opens Friday, January 11th at the Prove Gallery on North Lake Avenue in Duluth, and it's free. Now, Sarah Thompson takes the winter months to reflect and to write music. Her latest release has some original songs and covers written by some of her favorite musicians. In December, Sarah's show at Duluth Sacred Heart Music Center launched her new music out into the world.
Bone bare branches against the sky, solitude smiles at the snow drifting by.
I've done this sort of wintry themed concert for the last 10 years, so it is what I feel during the winter, is this crawling inward and that feeling when you walk out on a moonlit night and everything's covered with snow and the stars are out and there's just this hush and kind of looking inward that happens.
I think this music speaks a little bit to what it's like for both of us, the transitions through the seasons.
Bird song beckons on the air.
With this Lake Superior song, I had a vision. Each verse goes through a season, so I had a vision with it that it starts in winter and then goes the cycle, and so I knew I wanted gradually to be adding instruments. So for me, the bringing in the other musicians, I always have the metaphor of painting. It just brings in different colors.
And the water will whisper a love song in your ear, come near.
It started, my earliest memories of song are my dad singing lullabies to me. So it started way back as a young child and family get-togethers singing and doing music. And so I grew up surrounded by, you just get together and sing with people.
The seagulls crying, in the shorebird song, in the pine soft sighing, I'll be coming home.
Paula, she has just a beautiful voice.
My voice is very different than Sarah's, and so there's songs that are better for me to lead on. So it's just a different style of singing, I think, than hers is, and so it's a mix of that. She sings harmony for me, and I sing harmony for her.
In the moon and stars,
If Sarah's involved, there's magic. And so I trust that the magic will be here. And that's what I look for, is I want it to be a magical, inspiring evening for people.
I'll be coming home.
Sarah's new release, Winter Wanderings, is available on her website, sarah-thompson.com. Now, in our gallery tonight is the work of Adam Swanson and Bonnie Waletzko. The painting is called Other Side of the Lake, and there's more of Adam's work on display this month at the Lake Avenue Cafe in Duluth. Bonnie Waletzko is a potter who lives outside of Willow River. She helped establish the annual Autumn Winds studio tour in the Moose Lake area several years back. Now, if you have an art tip for us, please check out our website at theplaylistonline.org. You can listen to music, watch stories, and sign up to be part of our studio audience. For the latest happenings, like us on Facebook and follow along on Twitter. And now, please welcome back Southwire.
take a ticking time bomb, counting down the last clock. All goes by and won't stop. Watch the numbers drop, drop, drop.
Okay, will you introduce the band for me?
This is Ben Larson on guitar, Matt Mobley on bass, and Sean Elmquist on drums. And my name is Jerry Small.
Excellent. Nice to see all of you here. And tell me a little bit about how this band formed.
It started, gosh, tricky questions.
I know.
We started like 5 years ago now, maybe even 6. About this time of year, just hanging out at my house and started playing some tunes. And it started as the 3 of us, me, Ben, and Sean. And yeah, kind of a folk project, but I guess I knew these guys from their band Crew Jones, and I was a big fan of that project. And so, yeah, so it kind of grew from that, and then we added Matt since like homegrown, I guess maybe officially.
Now, they've teased you about being pansy folk, which is not true always. And Ben,
No tease.
Ben, you come in with a whole different vibe and a different voice. Tell me about the freestyle piece. Where does that come from?
Well, I guess it's my own sort of pansy piece. But yeah, we used to sort of get beer and cigarettes by rapping. The drummy back here is my longtime common law art partner, and so whenever I can sort of sneak my evil supervillain side into this band, it's a great success for me.
So what are rehearsals like? You know, who comes up with the songs? Who comes up with the music? It's like, okay, I'm going to throw out this beat. I'm going to add this.
Pretty
How does
much,
that work?
we exploit Jerry Small as the ringer. So like, she's like the miner in our sort of like culture industry factory, and we just kind of like wring as much out as we can. And when she goes a little too pansy, we're like, stop, and then until then we ride her.
There's a little gospel in your voice, though, too. Somewhere in there.
I mean, that's certainly an influence, or like maybe old time folk, or things of that nature.
So tell me a little bit about the formal music training. Have you guys all taken music lessons forever and ever?
Sure,
or?
yeah, we met at Berkeley. We all got thrown out in a sort of like prank we tried to pull on the dean, but we've been together since then, and our formal training is actually the worst part of our artistic affect, but we've tried to forget what they've taught us as much as possible, and we've done all right.
Really, we don't know anything.
We've done okay.
But Matt knows a lot, but so
Well,
we hang on to that. We hang on tightly to Matt's knowledge.
Together, you play, and you were teasing about playing the keyboard, but you can play the keyboard.
Play is certainly a relative term.
Okay, tell me about this new album coming up. I understand Sean's been doing some crazy good mixing. There's some recording already done. Tell me where are we in the process?
Yeah, we're very close. Very close. So hopefully, if we can get this thing wrapped up, we'll get home and just,
We're putting this out on
and it'll be done.
on Chaperone Records, yes?
On Chaperone Records, and we're hoping for the middle of February. Hopefully that's not too far off, but yeah, middle of February, Chaperone Records, and yeah, please come to the show whenever that's ready.
Okay, so we should be keeping our ears open, following you on Facebook or wherever. There's probably a couple of websites and that kind of fancy. The Chaperone website is the other one that we
great
can look
place
for.
to find us, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for taking time with us tonight.
Karen.
Thank you.
So nice to have you here. It's a great sound. And thank you so much for taking the time with us tonight. Have a great weekend. And remember to go out and explore the arts and live music.